What happens when the home you've always known becomes a battleground for someone else's future? I was 16 when my world tilted. My name is Ellie, and for years, it was just me and Dad in our cozy, cluttered house on Maple Street. Mom left when I was 5 and Dad, gruff, quiet, but steady as an oak, became my everything. We weren't perfect, but we had our rhythm. Pizza Fridays, his old jazz records spinning on weekends, and late-night talks about my dreams of becoming a writer. Then came Vanessa. She appeared like a storm cloud on a summer day, all sharp smiles and sharper plans. Dad met her at some charity gala, and within months, she was everywhere, her perfume lingering in the kitchen, her laughter drowning out our quiet evenings. I tried to like her. I did. She was charming in that polished way adults admire, but her eyes never warmed when they landed on me. When Dad announced her pregnancy, I forced a smile, thinking maybe a baby would soften her edges. I was wrong. The day Vanessa moved in, I came home from school to find my books stacked in the garage, my posters gone from the living room walls. "We're redecorating," she said, her voice syrupy but firm. "The baby needs a fresh start." I nodded, swallowing the sting. Dad was at work as usual, and I didn't want to bother him. He was happy, wasn't he? I could handle a little change. But it wasn't little. Vanessa's belongings spread like ivy, claiming every corner. My favorite armchair, replaced with her sleek, uncomfortable sofa. The kitchen table where Dad and I played cards, now her vision board headquarters. Then came the bombshell. One evening, as I was finishing homework, Vanessa sat across from me, her hand resting on her barely there bump. "Ellie," she said, her tone clipped, "this house isn't big enough for all of us. The baby needs space, me baby. I think it's best if you find somewhere else to stay." I froze. My home, the one constant in my life, was slipping away. "What about Dad?" I asked, voice trembling. She shrugged. "He agrees. He just doesn't want to upset you." I didn't believe her, but doubt crept in. Dad had been distant lately, buried in work or lost in Vanessa's orbit. That night I waited for him to come home, my heart pounding. When I asked if it was true, he sighed, rubbing his temples. "Ellie, it's complicated. Vanessa's under stress. We'll figure it out." His words felt like a betrayal. I didn't cry. Not then. Instead, I packed a backpack and walked to my best friend Mia's house. Her mom, a no-nonsense nurse, welcomed me without hesitation. "Your family," she said, and for the first time in days I felt seen. But the ache didn't fade. I kept picturing Dad in our house, laughing with Vanessa, planning a future that didn't include me. Was I that easy to replace? Days turned into weeks. I stayed with Mia, dodging Dad's calls. I wasn't ready to hear his excuses. But one night he showed up at Mia's, looking older than I'd ever seen him. His eyes were red, his voice raw. "Ellie, I messed up," he said. "I thought I could make everyone happy, but I didn't see how much I was hurting you." He told me Vanessa had been pushing him, framing me as the problem, and he'd been too overwhelmed to push back. The baby was coming, and he'd let her take control, thinking it was temporary. "It's not," he said. "And it's not right." We talked until dawn. He admitted he'd been scared of losing Vanessa, of failing as a father again. I told him how small I'd felt, how the house wasn't home without him in my corner. We cried, something we hadn't done together since Mom left. He promised things would change, but I wasn't naive. Vanessa wasn't going anywhere, and neither was the baby. The next day we sat down with Vanessa. I braced for a fight, but Dad took charge. "This is Ellie's home," he said, his voice steady. "She's not going anywhere." Vanessa's face tightened, but she didn't argue. Maybe she saw the shift in him, the father I'd always known, finally standing tall. We worked out a plan. I'd keep my room, my space, my place in the family. The baby would have a nursery, but not at the cost of my home. It wasn't perfect. Vanessa and I would never be close, but we found a fragile truce. The baby, a boy named Liam, arrived months later, and I'll admit, his tiny hand gripping my finger softened something in me. I wasn't just a sister. I was part of something bigger. Dad and I rebuilt our rhythm, one pizza Friday at a time, even with Vanessa's furniture crowding the edges. Looking back, I see it wasn't just about spacey, it was about belonging. I'd fought for my place, not with shouts or ultimatums, but by holding on to who I was. Dad learned to listen, to see me, And I learned that family isn't just a house or a name. It's the people who choose you every day, no matter how messy it gets. And in that messy, crowded house on Maple Street, I found my way home.